Hey, we are live. As you can see, I am on my own because Mark is actually working. So he not working, sorry, he's actually studying. He's got an exam coming up. So he has decided that he's going to sort of spend the time studying. So it's just me on my own. Well, hello. Is it Keegan? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Hello, Charlie. I hope you're both well. Thank you for joining me. So, wow, the Jubilee weekend has been and gone. Did you get up to anything exciting? I actually had a brunch. And so I had some, it wasn't a big one, it was quite a small one. Um, Hi, V Singularity. Hello, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're all well, actually. Oh, your brother's Keegan. Well, hello to Charlie's brother, Keegan. I hope you're well. Hope you're both well. Oh, you've got a channel as well. Wow, 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 wow. I like all these people who are starting up channels and things like that. Why not? Everybody should start a channel. If you're comfortable, if you're comfortable doing a channel, that is. So back to the Jubilee weekend. What did everyone get up to? We had like I said, we did a brunch here. It was a small brunch. And we sort of had it outside. We decorated. We sort of did breakfast on a barbecue. Hey, Richard, how are you? I know you had a good Jubilee weekend. You were out and about. You were in London, weren't you? We did think about going to London, but I thought it's just going to be too packed. But I got to watch some of it on the TV as much as I could because obviously working. I say working. We were cooking and all of that. And I've come to the realization it does take three of us to run a barbecue or do things like that. I was very, very lucky that my bestie was on hand. She handled the barbecue. Mark was on the hob doing the eggs and things like that in the kitchen. And then I was in the kitchen and I was doing things like warming up the pancakes because we bought the pancakes because we wanted to try and make it as easy for ourselves as we could. So while Mark was doing eggs, can't remember what else he was doing. He was doing a couple of things, and so I had bought. So we put hash browns on and things like that. So I was on oven duty. So Mark was at the hob, and Evelyn was sort of dealing with the barbecue. So that's how we separated. And I put drinks out on the tables and things like that. And it was just nice that everybody was here and sort of like chit chatting. Music was going. Evelyn also handled the music, which was really good. And it was just nice that we were all getting together. I was debating about getting a projector so that we could project sort of what was happening at the Jubilee. But I think it was really only my mum that was really interested with actually what was happening in the Jubilee. Everybody else was sort of like chit chatting, talking, and all of that type of stuff. Some of the things that we did for the barbecue was pancakes and waffles. We had chocolate waffles and plain waffles. They were the Liège ones, the Belgian type ones. And then we did scrambled eggs. We did hash browns. We did chicken sausages and turkey bacon because one of my cousins, his wife, doesn't eat sort of like the meaty type things, but she does eat chicken. And then I also got it for my brother, but my brother decided he wasn't eating till 3. And the barbecue was at 11. We kicked off things at 11 o'clock. So I just thought, oh my goodness. So it was just nice to sort of, everybody was just, Mark and I, unfortunately, when we're cooking or when we're doing things, we didn't get a chance to sort of sit down and chat with the family until afterwards. So when you're hosting something, you're sort of like doing all the work, all the behind the scenes work, and everybody else is just sitting down, they're chit chatting, they're enjoying. And it was just nice, really. And weren't we lucky that we had a nice day because it was raining before and it almost rained after? Let me catch up with. So V Singularity was in Kingston visiting some friends for the weekend. You guys should definitely do a vlog review there. Do you know what? We have been there, but we haven't done. I used to go there a lot. I had a friend who went to Kingston University, so I went to Kingston quite a lot. But I've never done a vlog there, and they've got that lovely lake there. Yeah, we've definitely got to go down. And the Bentals, yeah, it's very lovely. I know I've been in the Bentals. It is very nice there. You went to Skegness, Keegan, right? For the weekend, and how was it? Did you have fun? Um, uh, so you had too much Jubilee cake. Now, the Jubilee cake, did you make it, or did you make the Jubilee platinum pudding? I had all intentions of making. Oh, I had a disaster. So basically, we did a brunch on Friday, but I had to start preparing on the Thursday. So I decided I was going to make a pineapple upside down cake and a chess cake. And hey, Aoife, how are you? I hope you're well. It's been a while. Um, so I decided to make two cakes, and one was going to be a chess cake. Now, if anybody's made a chess cake before, you need two cakes in order to make a chess cake. And what a chess cake is, it's just checkered in the middle. So when you cut it, you get these lovely checkers that appear. And I love the blue pastel color. Thank you. Well, actually, it's actually grey. My mum got it for me. I've Even though the sun's been out, I've been feeling a bit chilly. So she got me this. They call it like a duvet day. It was from Marks and Spencer's. So my mum's got herself a pink one. She did offer to buy me a pink one, but I quite liked the grey one. I preferred the grey than the pink. So yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. The pink, the grey one. Um, Tuesday, oh, your sister's birthday. Had a cake Thursday. Cream teas, all nice. And test days was Jubilee cake from stalls. So many parties. Yep. Aoife, after later on, we'll have a sit down. We'll have a little bit of a chat. I So my plan was to actually make the Jubilee platinum pudding. So I, rather than make the components from scratch, I decided to buy all the components. But I was so busy on that Friday. We were so busy, sort of like dealing with people. I just didn't have a chance. Um, uh, Mark is studying, unfortunately. He did a mock exam and it didn't quite go the way that he wanted it to. So he's just thought, you know what? I'm going to really sit down and do his revision. So that's where he is at the moment. He's doing his revision. Thank you very much. I like the grey one. I've got to say, I do like the grey one. Sorry, I digress. Can we be friends? Yes, Keegan, of course we can. Or are you talking to somebody else on the chat? You could be talking to Richard for all I know. So basically, on the Thursday, I decided Evelyn was coming to stay over anyway. So I decided that I was going to make cakes. And I decided I was going to make one of the cakes was going to be a chess cake. But I started with the pineapple upside down cake. I did a pineapple upside down cake because I know my sister-in-law Alicia, she likes pineapple upside down cake. It's one of our favorite cakes actually. So I thought, right, I'll make that, which I did, but wasn't paying attention and I burnt it slightly, and I was just like, oh my god. But it didn't burn. What happened was this. So you have to put light brown sugar and butter, and you baste your tin. So it has to be in a non-spring form tin. So you baste the tin and you put it part way up the sides. I like to put a bit of extra batter, like cake batter, in the pineapple upside down because I feel like sometimes the cake can be a bit too thin. So anyway, you baste the inside with your sugar and your butter, which inevitably melts to make the caramel. And then you arrange your pineapple slices, and then you put your cherries in, whether they be glacier, they're glacier cherries normally, but whether they be maraschino or morello, I use morello, and so I put them in the little sort of the little holes, the little pineapple holes, and then I poured my batter on, and then I put it in the oven. Now, I forgot to put a tray underneath the cake, and what inevitably happened was all that lovely caramel was bubbling away, bubbled to the surface and went all over my oven. I was just like, oh my god, it created so much smoke. Honestly, it was so much smoke, and I was just like, oh my god. So I had to wait for the oven to cool down just a little bit, and then sort of wipe the oven down just so that I could get rid of all the sugar, because the next thing you put in the oven, inevitably the sugar's going to keep burning, and create this waft of smoke, a waft of burning smoke on top of that. I was like, oh god. So yeah, so that was that. So that was one disaster. On to the next one. So I decided to do a St. Clement's cake. So one lemon drizzle and one orange drizzle, and then I was going to put them together to make the chess cake. And I've got all these sort of like cutouts and all of this, and I baked them. They came out perfect. I thought brilliant. I added a bit of yellow natural food colouring to one and orange natural food colouring to the other. I didn't want to put too much food colouring in case you could taste the food colouring. And I've never really worked with food colouring before. So that's what I did. And then I let them cool. But what my mistake was, and I realised what the mistake is, I just put, because with the drizzle, you're supposed to do it while the cake is warm so that it soaks up the juice. So I did the drizzles on both of them, one lemon, one orange, and left them there to cool. They cooled down. I popped them out of the thing. It was ever so slightly still warm, but now it was very moist because it had the drizzle on there. Now, what I should have done, hey Pavna, I hope you're well. Did you have a lovely weekend? Sorry, I'll catch up with the messages in a minute. I'll just quickly tell this story. So I popped it out, and I popped the lemon one out, and I popped it down, and I've got one of those cutters. Now, I've never really cut cake with one of these cutters before. So I popped it round, and I couldn't see properly. And I do have a Lazy Susan. However, I didn't bring it down to use it. And so I just cut it. It cut uneven. Oh, it was just disaster. And then I went to cut the other one, and again, disaster, because I just eyeballed it rather than sort of properly doing it. And it was, like I said, it was very moist. So whenever you try to lift it up, when it was the circles, it was fine. So I lifted up the circles and popped them to one side. I then got the cookie cutters and went to do the cuts in between. So if you're making a chess cake, you're basically you basically have 4 layers of cake. So you have 2 cakes, you cut each in half. And then what you do is you cut a large circle and then a middle circle, and you pop them out, and then you replace those circles so that you would have, let's say, one lemon, so the large circle will be the lemon, smaller circle will be the orange, and the next circle will be the lemon. So inevitably, you'd have yellow, orange, yellow. You do the same with the other one. And this time it would be orange, yellow, orange, and you place that on top. Then the next one would be yellow, orange, yellow. You put that on top, and then the last one would be orange, yellow, orange, and you put that, and that's what makes the wonderful squares. However, like I said, because the cake was still moist, it broke, and I was just like, oh no! What I should have done was put it in the fridge to sort of like harden it up a little bit. But I didn't, and it just fell apart. It was just like plong, 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 and it just looked like a complete mess. And I was so disheartened. And Evelyn was saying to me, it wasn't my weekend for making cakes. It really, really wasn't, because my cakes turned out quite well. And it was just one of those times that it didn't. But now it's a lesson learned. I should realize, do not, or if I do put the drizzle on, bung them in the fridge so that they can get a little bit firm. So that was my disaster of the Jubilee weekend. For the cakes, that is. Everything else was quite successful. You play a video game. Oh, do you? What video game do you play? That's to Keegan. Keegan's saying he plays a video game. Oh, right. You saw the video on the expensive ears. Do you know what? The ears are expensive. There's 2 expensive. I mean, the ears are expensive in general. So they're normally they used to be about 22, but then roughly for normal ears, they're about £24. If they are lounge fly ears, they sort of roughly run between 28 and 30 normally. They can be more expensive, but normally between 28 and 30. Then they have these other ears at the moment, which are the 30th anniversary ears. There's one for £180 and there's one for £600. I love them both and I would love to get them. So if I do inevitably, I say inevitably, if I do, yes, if I put it out there, so inevitably when I get my windfall, I will be buying those ears. So I'm putting it out there to the universe. Inevitably, when I get that money, I will buy my ears. But the ears really do look nice. I don't think they are worth 180 or £600 at all. But I would love it to go with my collection. It's one of those things that I love to collect. And I have done a video recently. I'm debating whether I'm going to reshoot it, where I've broken down some of the ears that I've bought. So there is a video coming up with regards to the ears that I have. Let's have a look. Oh, you just met another Aoife. I knew an Aoife a few years ago. Yeah, she was a lovely girl, Aoife. So are you, by the way. You play the video game, which I've already read. You'll forever see me as the sister you never had. Oh, bless you. That's so lovely. Thank you. Oh, thank you, V Singularity. Yeah, I think. Do you know what? He's really just trying to get everything down, in order to sort of successfully pass. I think he's just right, single-minded now, and he's like, right, I need to sort of crack this. So that's what he's doing at the moment. But he's studying like all the time, He does take a break, but not as he should. But yeah, he's just study. My brother subscribed to your YouTube, Kelly, and Mark got 660 subscribers. Wow. Do you know what? I've been sort of like checking, but not checking recently. But yeah, that's great that we've got 660 subscribers. I look forward to when we break that barrier of 1,000. I'm like, oh my God. I'll be so haps. Yet tomorrow go live and fill you in on what's to come. Yes, Richard, I'll be watching your live. I like the ears that you wear. Yes, thank you. Do you know what? A friend was going. So I went to, I think it was it's before 2017. So it might have been 2016 then. In Disneyland Paris, I saw a girl when I went to Florida who had these ears. I could not find them in the park for love nor money. And when I saw her again, and when I actually looked, it said Disneyland Paris. So I don't know if you can see that it says Disneyland Paris right there. So I thought, oh no. And a friend, where I was working at the time, a friend was going to Disneyland Paris. And I said, look, can you please get me these ears? And bless him, he did. He got me these ears. And I absolutely love them. They are a little bit sun damaged because this bow should be black. And they were sitting on my, like a load of my ears were sitting on my do they call it a Juliet mirror, the 3-part mirror where you've got a mirror there and two wing mirrors, and they were sitting there, and so they are slightly sun damaged, but other than that I absolutely love them. This side is lighter than this side, but there you go, that's from the sun. I love them nonetheless. They did actually bring it out in Florida, and I should have bought it when they brought it out there as well. They do have another version which is all sequins, so even the bow is sequins. So I may consider it, but yeah, we'll see. I was sick last night at school. Oh, were you sick at school? Making me hungry. Do you know what? I tell you, those cakes. I just dropped some cakes off to my mum today, but I do. So I went to. Tell me what you think of this. I went to the dentist today and I had a routine checkup, and the checkups now cost 20 something pounds. And as far as I'm aware, included in your 20 odd pounds, whatever you pay, you're supposed to have your teeth cleaned. As far as I'm aware, that was always what's included. Now, during the pandemic, they stopped the teeth cleaning, for obvious reasons, because we're in pandemic. We're still in a pandemic, by the way. But a lot of places now, they've relaxed the mask system and all that, because when they send you a reminder message, they always say, oh, can you please wear a mask? Of which, I had my mask with me and I put my mask on. but nobody was wearing any masks in the dentist, except for the dentist themselves and the nurses. Do you call them nurses or dental assistant? They were wearing masks, but the receptionists weren't, and none of the patients were. Anyway, I was wearing my mask. So I went in and she checked my teeth, and I said, "Oh, can I get my teeth cleaned?" I said, "What's the deal now with teeth cleaning? Is it that you are we still have they started it back up again or not?" She goes, "Oh, we only do it if you have gingivitis or your teeth are really, really bad." Now, I don't think I said, "Oh," because I thought teeth cleaning. Yeah, she goes, "Yeah, if you've got gingivitis and your teeth are really bad." So trying to make out that it wasn't. Now, I'm not up on this sort of thing. So if anybody knows, let me know, because as far as I'm aware, you do it is included. I must look it up, but I'm sure that teeth cleaning are included when you go to the dentist for a routine checkup. She said to me, "Oh, you'll need to book in with the hygienist." Anyway, so I went downstairs and I said, "Oh, how much is it to book in with the hygienist?" £47 to clean your teeth. £47, which the dentist should be doing anyway. So I was just like, what? Wow, 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 wow. I must find out if it should be included within your routine check, which I'm sure. I'm NHS, so I'm not. I don't work for the NHS, but I'm because the dentist practice deal with private and they deal with NHS, and I'm on the NHS. I'm not private, so as far as I'm aware, it should be included, right, in your routine checkup. Let me know if that is the case, if I've got that correct. Okay, that's interesting. I'll tell my niece about that cake. Yeah, the Jubilee platinum pudding. It's a trifle. It looked amazing. I really wanted to make it. I've still got the components downstairs, so I probably will make it at some point. We learn by our mistakes, Kelly's no worries. Do you know what? I like my timings and baking cakes and stuff is normally quite good, but I think maybe, like Evelyn said, it wasn't my time for making cakes. I think, well, as long as it tasted good, it did actually. Everybody sort of ate it. I'm not sure if people actually liked the lemon and the orange. I'm not sure. I think they would have just liked it as a normal drizzle cake rather than as a chess cake, because I've done the lemon drizzle a few times and people really enjoy that. So I'm not sure. People didn't tell me the truth, so I'm not sure. With the chess cake, pineapple upside down cake was fine. Everybody ate that; they really enjoyed that. But don't know about that chess cake. I will attempt it again because it's trial and error. So I'll attempt it again. Maybe not the same flavors, maybe different flavors, maybe a chocolate sponge and a normal sponge, maybe. You'll be able to see the colors a lot better as well. You'll be able to see the chess itself a lot better. So maybe I'll do that. Can you make a union? Can you make a cake with a Union Jack flag for England? That's a challenge for you, Mark and Kelly. Do you know what? I've never tried it. And my piping, because the only way that I think that you could do it without sticking a flag in, my piping skills, I don't have any piping skills, but I'm sure that is the way that you would do it, right? It's the only way that you could put a Union Jack on a cake, really. Um, I don't know. I'll have a little think about it. I'll have a little think. But that's the only way I believe you'd be able to do a union, other than stick, because I can stick a flag in, that's no problem. But to actually put it on the cake, don't know about those piping skills. I'll have to think about that. Hey Sahinas, how are you? I hope you're well. You play FIFA? Oh, FIFA 2022. Oh wow, okay. Mark's not really a FIFA fan, actually. He used to play PES, but I'm not really up on the gaming stuff. That's more Mark's sort of thing. Here's great advice from famous YouTubers. Your audience is the hearing, the deaf, and the blind. Wow, yeah. Do you know what? It stands to reason. That actually stands to reason. And I guess, like, even if you're not sort of blind, a lot of people like to hear YouTubers like a podcast. So I think it's a good crossover when you have sort of like when we're doing something like this, like a live, and somebody who might be blind might want to listen to it as a podcast, you know. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I suppose I never really thought about it, to be honest. Yes, it's meant to. Yes, they're meant to clean. Yes, yes, it's included. All dentists are different. That's what I thought. I thought it was included because I knew I'd read it somewhere. Because it was only because a friend of mine had told me that was supposed to be included, and then I went to have a look at it, and yes, it's supposed to be included. But then, how do you tackle it? How do you, without becoming what's the word? Not combative. Without being not assertive. What's the word? I want to. It begins with a C, but without being, you know, without causing an argument or without being rude. How do you sort of impress upon someone you'd like you to, you know? Because I said to her, as far as I'm aware, it's included, but it was like, oh yeah, only if you've got gingivitis. And I'm thinking, but that's not quite right. But I thought, just in case the rules have changed, because I wasn't up on my facts, I need to go back and check. But yeah, how do you sort of say it in such a way where it's not rude, but you would like to have your teeth? Yeah, it's a very fine line, isn't it? When you know that you deserve a service or you should be getting a service and you don't get that service, but you don't want to be. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to cause any dramas or anything, but you want to say, well, hang on a second, that's not quite right. And yeah, without getting into the argument with someone who's going to do your teeth. You don't want to be getting into arguments with people who are handling your food and handling your teeth. You don't want to get into any arguments about that. RV Singularity. Got to leave you, Kelly. I might pop in later if I have time. But you are giving a live on Friday. Yes, we are. We're going to do a live on Friday. Thank you for joining, though. And I hope you have fun, whatever you're doing. You can marzipan the coloured rolled icing. Do you know what? I'm not a lover of marzipan, but Mark really enjoys marzipan icing. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Michael. Kelly, thank you, and Mark are lovely. Thank you so much. That's so kind. Thank you. I love it when we get little comments like that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the marzipan, but yes, I prefer royal icing, and Mark is the artsy person, so he could definitely paint it on. But I've never iced a cake before. Do you know what I mean? I've done cream cheese frosting and stuff like that around a cake and all that, but I've never actually put icing. Do you know what? I'm quite nervous. Like my mum, she wants me. So basically, in Mauritius, there is a biscuit. It's like a shortbread biscuit with jam in the middle, and you have icing on the top, and we call it Neapolitan. It's usually done with pink icing. I have seen it with blue icing and white icing, but it's normally done with pink icing. And have a lovely evening, V Singularity. Hope you're able to join us, but if not, hopefully see you Friday. And yeah, she wants me to make it, but I'm not so good with. Not that I'm not so good. I've never really tried sort of like dough, because I'm assuming when you do shortbread, because it's very similar to shortbread biscuits. I've never ever made biscuits, but a lot of biscuits that I see, you it's a dough and you cut the circles. I do want to attempt to make biscuits one day. I'm getting a little bit warm now. I was cold earlier, now I'm getting a little bit warm. I do want to attempt. I don't want to attempt it, but I'm not sure how good I would be at it. But again, it's one of those things, isn't it? Trial and error. But my mom's going, yeah, why don't you make Neapolitan? But it's only really Mark and my sister that actually enjoy that biscuit. I don't know any other Mauritian that enjoys that biscuit. There must be, because it's very popular. So there must be. It's very, very sweet. And a lot of Mauritians do have sweet tooths. But it is too sweet for me. And I like sweet stuff, but that is far too sweet for me. Richard's Adventures. What's the life? Remember when you need to do the bike video? Yeah, I love you loads. Dreams, Mark and Kelly. Oh, thank you. Mark Kelly, did you enjoy the Disneyland store? Yes, we did. I mean, Mark really enjoys the superhero stuff. So what's good when we go to the Disney, like if we go to Hollywood Studios, there's Star Wars there, and he absolutely loves Star Wars. And when we go to Universal Studios, I'm just trying to think, I think it's Islands of Adventure. You have like things like the Spider-Man ride and all of that. And I've got to say, if you ever do go to Universal Studios, if you ever go to Orlando, where the parks are, where the Universal and Disney parks are, you will have a fantastic time. There is really, even as an adult, there are some fantastic things to see and do. Fantastic. And you look at these things. I mean, Disney do put a little bit more money into the production of things. They, from what I've seen of other YouTubers, they've had to do some cuts, obviously during the pandemic, because they had to shut down the park. And in order to get the money back, they've sort of done they changed the system a little bit, which it was expensive before, and now you need even more money to go to the Disney side. So I think a lot of people, when they do go, they just go to the Universal side, because the Universal side is a bit more economical. But if you ever do go, I really highly suggest saving your money until you get to the point where you can do both sides. At least once. At least once. You do really need to do both sides. My advice would be to go when they do the I'm going to take a little drink because I feel my throat's a little bit dry. So I would suggest going when it's approaching Halloween. You see lots of people getting dressed up. They do at Universal, they do this Halloween Horror Nights events. Disney do a Halloween event. They have these scary houses now. They didn't have the scary houses before. But then again, maybe they did actually, but we'd never been to a Halloween Horror Night. And Mark's into all of that. I'm not really into that sort of thing. But I did really want to go to the Disney one. And we were there at the time, and we should have, but we didn't. But I would suggest going near the Halloween time. It is expensive. But to be fair, Florida is as cheap or as expensive as you want to make it. When Mark and I went the first time, we paid, I think it was about £1,000 each we paid. But that was the very first time that we went. Now, if you wanted just to go to Florida, but without doing the parks, because there are other smaller theme parks that you can do, which are a lot less expensive. So don't feel that you have to go to Universal and to the Disney. There are other parks there. You've got your SeaWorld there. You've got your Alligator Land. There's lots of other things to do, and they are cheaper. But there are really good ticket sites, really good ones, where you can purchase combo tickets. And if you choose the correct hotels, they have free shuttle services that can take you here, there, and everywhere. And if you book the correct hotel, you get free breakfast. So that already cuts quite a lot of your expenditure. So if you find, and if there are some hotels that do not evening meals, but sort of like evening theme nights where they do bitty types of food. Homewood Suites, where we stayed, Monday to Thursday, they do sort of like, it's almost like an evening meal where it's an evening theme meal, like Mexican night or this night or that night, and you can go and you can enjoy like food of an evening. Again, that will cut your expenditure, do you know what I mean, quite a bit, because it's free. So if you book the hotel, the breakfast and the evening sort of meal is free Monday to Thursday, because they're expecting guests to be out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they don't put on the evening things then. But your breakfast is still free Monday to Sunday. So there are little things that you can do to save money. And you can bring food to the parks. You can bring drinks to the park. and therefore you don't have to spend money inside the parks. You know, you can just do the free rides and things like that because the rides and things are free. Um, but you know, it can be expensive if you are going to choose to eat inside the park. You're going to do quick service and things like that. But I've seen families go with their backpacks and they've brought their sandwiches into the park, you know, because if you've got a family of 4 or 5, or even if it's just the two of you, it can be expensive. So there are little ways that you can cut corners, and so that it's not as expensive. Like if you just wanted to do the universal side, or you've then got, I mean, you can pick up a flight and hotel room with breakfast included for like £600, £700 each. And then, you know, you just go and enjoy International Drive. But then you can pay for your, I think it's like £200 for 2 weeks for your universal ticket. And that's the two parks, and you can go and do those two parks, and choosing the correct hotel, you get a free shuttle to the park. So do you know what I mean? There's also a trolley, an I ride trolley that takes you up and down International Drive. There's loads of things to do on International Drive. And if you stay at the Point Orlando end, you've got the cinema there, you've got a bunch of restaurants there. They've got the Wonderworks, which is an upside down house. You know, there's even a little helicopter place there if you wanted to do a helicopter ride. They've also got like different experiences, like I think it's called iFly, where it's like you're laying flat on the ground, and then they push this wind machine, and this wind machine lifts you off the ground, and you're flying. You're there sort of like flying, and they can make you go higher or lower, and you're just there. So there are so many interesting things to do there, and so many interesting places to eat. But like I said, it can be as expensive or as cheap as you want to make it. Oh, hey Ivy, how are you? Oh, I'm glad you could join us. So missed you guys, been crazy few weeks for me, and hope you're both well. Sending you loads of love. We are well, thank you. Mark is studying at the minute because he's got an exam coming up soon, and I think he just wants to get that extra study time in. So that's what he's doing at the moment. Hey Richard, you're gonna go. See you all. Got things to plan rest of the day. All right, take care. Glad you could join us though. So who can actually film the Tower Bridge in London? Do you know what? We can film the Tower Bridge in London. We just haven't really sort of said, oh, do you know, this is what we're going to do. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Ray. How are you? I hope you're well. I've just got back from my daughter's, and I've been on nanny duty. Yeah, well, it's the best duty though, right? Nanny duty is the best duty. Today, and had ice cream and plenty of fun in the park. Do you know what we did? We bought a slush puppy machine for the brunch. So we did a brunch for Jubilee weekend, and we bought a slush puppy machine. And we specifically, I saw it on sale, and I said to Mark, do you know what? Let's get this slush puppy machine. And at the time that I went to get the slush puppy machine, they also did slush puppy ice poles. So I bought the slush puppy ice poles. There was like 12 in a pack, so I bought 2 packs, 24, so enough for everyone if they wanted. Because I tell you, some of these adults, they want the kids things as well. So Mark gets, whenever the kids come around, Mark gets very excited, and he said, oh yeah, they want to do the slush puppy. Listen, the 2 boys, there's 2 little boys, Kyra and Tyler, and they had never even heard of slush puppy before. And I was going, what do you mean they want to do? They hadn't even heard of it before. They don't even know what it is. And Mark goes, yeah. So anyway, we got the slush puppy maker out, and I had bought 4 different syrups. So I bought lime, raspberry, Coca-Cola, and there was another one. I don't know what the other one was. Strawberry, I think it was. Yeah, so strawberry and lime, raspberry, Coca-Cola, and there was another one. I can't remember what that 4th one is. And of course, Steph, my cousin, he was like, oh yeah, let's do the blue one. Everybody loved the blue. When we were all younger, we always wanted to get the blue, or we'd get a mixture. And so we did the blue flavor. All I could see was people drinking these slush puppies outside. And because I was inside sort of like doing things and getting things ready in that. And yeah, they all had slush puppies. And if you saw the kids, all the kids had blue mouths. And even my older nephew, who's 14, he had a blue mouth because of all these slush puppies. I just thought, oh my god, the amount of sugar that was probably in these things. I just thought, oh my god. But they really enjoyed it and they had so much fun. Uh, um, Here we go. So yeah, I got a teddy bear. Oh wow, named Stripes. And he wants to say hello. Oh, hi Stripes. I hope you're well. I hope you're keeping Keegan company. You know, that's your job. You got to keep him company. Or she, Keegan. Yes. Oh yeah, you said brother, right? Keegan. Yeah, I was about to say Keegan boy, girl, but boy, yeah. Yeah. So hello to Stripes. So yeah, so we had a fun brunch weekend, but it was a lot of hard work, and I was so pleased when I could sit down. I didn't really get any hot food per se because I was like, I didn't get any pancakes, I didn't get any waffles. The only things I didn't get any scrambled eggs. What did I get? I got a burnt what you call it, hash brown. I got a burnt hash brown, and I got a chicken sausage, a pork sausage, and some turkey bacon and some normal bacon, and that was about it. That was about it. I didn't get anything else, and I really would have liked to have tried the waffles and the pancakes. But next up, but do you know what? I really wanted to get blueberry pancakes, but I couldn't get hold of any blueberry pancakes. Um, Funnily enough, I was in M&S today, and I didn't think to look for blueberry pancakes. I went to get my teeth checked, and then I went and bought a load of sweet stuff. And she said to me, "Oh, do you eat a lot of sweet things?" I said, "I'm not going to lie, I'm a sugar addict." And I remember talking to her the last time because a few people, she goes, "Oh, at least you're honest," because a lot of people say, "Oh, no, no, no." And I was like, "You're my dentist. There's no point in me lying about if I've got cavities almost forming, so I can't tell you yes or no that no, I don't eat sugar. Of course I eat sugar, otherwise I wouldn't be getting these sort of small cavities." So yeah, so I was very honest, and she goes, "Okay, if you are going to eat sweet things, try to eat them around meal times. Make sure you floss," of which I do. I always floss my teeth anyway. um just the general. But yeah, and then yeah, then I went to M&S and I was thinking, oh, I got these donuts. And do you know what? So basically, I thought, oh, I don't want to get a pack of four. I just want to get one and get two. So the donuts were 60 pence each. So for two donuts, £1.20. For a bag of four, it's £1.20. How does that even work? Do you know what I mean? So I do feel like, all right, yeah. So you've got me to buy two extra donuts for £1.20 because they were 60 pence each. And obviously, if I get two donuts, I wanted to get one for me and Mark, it's going to be £1.20. So it made sense to buy four donuts. But I don't want four donuts. I want two donuts. So why can't you make the two donuts cheaper? That's my thing. Why can't you make them 40p? This is 60p. Then I would have just picked up two for 80p. That's fine. But there we go. So now I've got four donuts. Could you make a rainbow cake? The other challenge. Wow. Do you know what? I've never even thought about making a rainbow cake. And what natural fruit other than beetroot, what other natural food colorings are there? Do you know what? Mark would really love it if I made a rainbow cake. I've got to say, he would really enjoy that with a buttercream icing. And hundreds and thousands, because Marks and Spencers do one. They do like a rainbow cake. Yeah, and I would attempt to make one. I would, but I just don't know about the food coloring. Is there any other type of food coloring that I could get that is more natural? I mean, the food coloring that I do get is natural. Well, it says it's natural. But is there like a natural food that I can use? Something along the lines of beetroot that I could use to make a colour. I love all cake. Do you know what? It's very difficult not to love all cake, I gotta say. Stripes wants to chat on Wednesday with you on YouTube. I won't be around on Wednesday, but our lives are normally Tuesday and Friday. So Stripes can join us on Tuesdays and Fridays. Yeah, I do love all cake. I don't love all cake. I've got to be honest. I don't love all cake, but I like a lot of cake. Um, and I can't tell. Oh, I was about to say I can't tell you what my favorite cake is, but I can. It's Black Forest Ghetto. I don't know what other. I almost had a blank there. My favorite cake is Black Forest Ghetto. And there's only been one place that can make Black Forest Ghetto on point, and they no longer make it, which is so unfortunate. But I do have the cherries that are soaked in kirsch, so I could attempt to make a Black Forest Ghetto. I don't know how it would work out, but one of these days that is my goal, to attempt to make a Black Forest Ghetto. Yeah, I'm just, do you know what? I feel like I get a little bit nervous when I attempt to make uh a cake that deviates from something that I'm comfortable with doing. Like a cherry and almond cake, I'm very comfortable with doing that. Pineapple upside down cake, very comfortable with doing that. Chocolate cherry cake, or a apricot chocolate, or anything like that, I'm very comfortable in making those cakes. Lemon drizzle, I'm comfortable with making. So my sort of repertoire is getting larger. But a couple of the requests that I've had is red velvet. I've had 2 requests for red velvet, one for the sister-in-law and one for my bestie. And I'm just like, I don't know. I've also made pineapple cake and pina colada cake before. And I've also made sort of like cake jars before as well. I've made videos on them all. So if you're interested, or you think, oh yeah, I'd like to try that, if you can watch the cake jar or the chocolate cherry cake, and then you'll see they're quite easy to make. And also the Guinness, I've made chocolate Guinness cake before. Oh, that's so good, but it's so dense, it's so heavy. But you only want a little piece of it. But I really do enjoy Guinness cake. I made a cake for my bestie for her birthday. It was a chocolate cake, and she said, "Oh, she absolutely loves chocolate cake." Have you tried pumpkin pie? Hey, Richard, how are you? Thank you for joining us. I haven't tried pumpkin pie. I'm not sure I would like it. I think Mark would like it, but I'm not sure if I would. I don't know. I do like pies. I love apple pie and cherry pie. Oh, I love cherry pie. I like cherry pie more than apple pie, I think. Um, but I've never had like pecan pie. Like I love a pecan. We've got a pecan plat, and I love a pecan plat. But I've never tried pecan pie, and I've never tried pumpkin pie. But I think the next time when we come to the States, if it is going to be around Halloween time, because I think that's when you guys make the pumpkin pies, right? Sort of around sort of Halloween sort of time. I think I would, if I was around that time, I would try it. I would definitely try it if I was there, I think. Oh, I'm glad you're well. I'm never tried it. I don't know if I would like it, but I would definitely try it. I didn't make my Jubilee pudding. My husband ate the lemon Swiss roll I bought, so I ended in an argument. Do you know what? It's the sort of thing Mark would do. It's the typical sort of thing. We've had so many arguments with regards to him finishing stuff and not letting me know, because I don't mind what you eat, but just let me know so I can put it in the shopping, or let me know so I can say, actually, I've got plans for that. And he doesn't think. He's just like, so I went to M&S and I bought loads of deli stuff. So I thought, oh, do you know what? There's snacks in the fridge. So if he wants to grab a snack, he could just grab a snack. Well, he's eaten most of the snacks already. And I was like to him, but there is tomorrow and the next day. You don't have to eat all of the snacks in one go. Just pace yourself. Like you see food and it's just like, oh, so I'm a Simpson business. Calm down. There's plenty. Just, yeah, and it's like, I had my little nephew Tyler drinking J2O. He was drinking the J2O like it was about to run out. I said, listen, that is the last one. So if you finish that one, there's no more J2O. So calm down. drink it little by little, savor it, enjoy the moment. Some Homer Simpson business. I was like, oh my god. Yes, around Thanksgiving. Yeah, in November. That's what I thought. Yeah, I love lemon. Do you know what? I love lemon cake as well. A lot of my family love lemon cake. But yeah, I think yeah, if I'm there around sort of like Thanksgiving, because is that 25th of November? I'm not sure on my dates, but I'm assuming it's roughly around that time as your Thanksgiving, I think. But yeah, I would definitely try it if I'm there. Oh, my husband is a Homer Simpson. Trust me, that's Mark's second name. Trust me. But yeah, we often have arguments about like, oh my god, you've just finished that. Oh my god. But and I try to plan for things because I know like he gets quite he likes sort of snacks, but he tries to avoid certain things. But when there isn't anything else, he ends up having those things. So I like to try to keep sort of like little snacks there, just so that he can go to the fridge and eat those snacks and things like that. And so like it, we try to we try not to have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because I feel like that's just so much food. And Mark could, don't get me wrong, Mark could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I don't, because we are stuck in the house quite a lot. I don't feel that's good for us to eat all 3 meals. So we tend to have one meal, which is normally lunch, because Mark doesn't like to eat heavy in the evening. For me, I don't mind when I eat, to be quite honest. So I'll eat, and then if I want some snacks, I've normally got sort of like little snacks in the fridge. But then when we're getting down to the bare bones, we then tend to have crisps or biscuits and things like that. So I try to keep. So at the moment, I bought some. What did I buy? I bought some vegetable samosas. They were the deli, so it was like 3 for whatever it was in Marks and Spencer's. So I bought 6. So I bought some little cocktail sausages for me. The honey and mustard cocktail sausages, and then I bought it wasn't sausage rolls, and it wasn't. Oh, I think I bought something like sweet corn fritters or something like that. And I bought him some tomato and mozzarella sort of things, just so that they're sitting in the fridge, and he's eaten like half of the he's eaten half of the samosas and half of the tomato and mozzarella things. And I said, well, don't eat it all because there's tomorrow and stuff like that. And he goes, oh, I feel like I want a snack and stuff. So I said, luckily I bought bread, because we had some bread we had a Tesco delivery. When did we have the Tesco? We had the Tesco delivery on Thursday. He went to eat a piece of toast yesterday, and the bread was moldy. And I was just like, oh my God. And it was just like, well, we only got it on Thursday and the bread's already moldy. So, because I was out today, I bought 2 packs of bread, and I thought, oh, I'll keep them in the fridge because then if he wants like some toast or whatever, and he likes to have his spoons of peanut butter. So I said, don't forget I bought bread. I'll go, oh yeah, he got excited then. Oh yeah, so he made himself some toast and stuff like that. But yeah, I like to have little bitty things on hand, so that even me, if like sometimes like I don't want to cook or whatever, I know that I can just pop to the fridge and pull out like an empanada or a cocktail sausage or something like that. And yeah, I just like, hey, Neha, I hope you're well. Oh yeah, he's working from home, catching on over there in the UK. Yeah. I don't know if it's catching on. Oh, he's working from home, catching on in the UK. Yes, it is catching on in the UK. However, I feel like the government doesn't like it. And so, in a roundabout way, almost trying to push people to go back to work. But I think a lot of companies, because I think there were some companies that frowned upon it because I think they thought that you wouldn't be working if you're working from home. Mark is the total opposite of that. Mark does more. Like when he's working from home, he's like on point. He puts in more hours and things like that. So sometimes in that respect, I'm not sure if it's healthy, but I do feel it's so much more convenient and so much more, especially if you're a mother, not to have to pay for childcare fees and this fees and that, because it's so expensive, so expensive. So yes, working from home is catching on, more so now. But there are some companies, because there are some companies who've given up the offices now and just thought, do you know what, we're going to do it virtually. But there are some companies who still have the offices, and because they're paying those rates, they feel like it's a waste of time if people are going to be working from home. And then the other consensus is that a lot of these bosses think that people aren't going to work from home. And I think at the beginning, it probably was a little bit like that, trying to get that balance of home and work life. They've adopted more of a hybrid rather than a work from home, I think. So you see a lot of jobs where you can work from home 2 days a week, or you can work from home 3 days a week, and things like that. I think that's more a hybrid role is catching on more than working from home is. Uh, he eats his, then he wants mine. Yeah, I think he will eat 3 meals in the evening at once. It's the same. This is the same for me. Absolutely. Oh, did you cut your hair? How did it go? Oh my god. Did you? Were you? Are you pleased with the results? It's same length as yours now, Kelly. Yeah, I had mine cut a while ago. Because mine was halfway down my back. It doesn't. It's still long. It just doesn't look long because it's curly. But yeah, if you can see, it goes. But yeah, it was halfway down my back, but then it springs up, and it springs up to there. But yeah, I quite like it this length actually. But when you wash it, it inevitably gets longer. And are you happy? Are you happy that you've done your thing now? Oh, bless you. Um, uh, mine is it might go off. Yeah, exactly. That's what mine says. Oh, it might go off. Yeah, it might go off, so I've got to eat it now. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. But sometimes I don't, like I said, I don't mind per se if you're eating out the fridge or whatever. It just means we've got to buy more stuff. But let me know so that I can write it down on a list. Or and there's a pen, there's a pencil in the list. All my only bugbear is I just want to know. So I think to myself, right, okay, so that's not in there. That's not, we haven't got this. And so then I can put it in the order, because inevitably your order, when you're doing your shopping, it's not always the same, is it? It's when you've run out of this or when you've run out of that, and then you tend to buy it, or you want to get spare of this or you want to get spare of that. But how do you know if you don't know that it's run out and the last person to use it didn't let you know? That's the okay. I donated 17 inches. Wow, that's so much hair. Join me for my Friday night party. Started at 7 p.m. Really? You're gonna have a Friday night party? Wow. Are you gonna do a live then while you're doing your party? Is that what's gonna happen? I'll definitely watch if it's live. I'll definitely join you on your virtual party. Um, uh, I yeah, I is working from home catching on in the States? Hi, sorry, I'm like, oh no, don't be sorry, that's fine. That's fine. I hope you're well, Karen. What are you up to? What did you get up to for the Jubilee weekend? Richard, did they televise the Jubilee weekend at all? Was it like a thing over there? Was it like a popular thing maybe? Because Harry's living over there, isn't it? Oh no, Harry's living in Canada. Is he living in Canada? Or is he living in the States? I can't remember. Harry and Meghan living in Canada or in the States? Um I So something else happened to me. So let me know your thoughts on this. So I was yes, Harry lives. Oh, does he live in LA? Is Harry popular over there? I imagine that he would be. He's popular here too. It's just that there's lots of controversy over, the Meghan, Harry, William family infighting and all of that type of stuff. My channel by Charlie Dolby. Oh, Mr. CJD the cow. Okay. My channel by Charlie Dolby. Wow. Okay, so you got another channel. Yeah, so I think that's the only thing. Harry and Meghan are my faves. Do you know what? I really love Harry. I do. Do you know what? I love the brothers. I think Harry and William are great, and I think Harry has fallen in love with somebody, and unfortunately, it hasn't worked. It's always the same in a family. In a normal family, sometimes you can marry somebody that the rest of the family may not get on with or like or whatever. And so how do you solve those problems? Do you know what I mean? They can be quite difficult to solve, especially when you're a close family. And I feel like with Harry and William, they were close as brothers, obviously. But I also do think that um, there are a lot of outside influences that interfere with family problems, and I think just let them get on with it. They'll sort it out. Do you know what I mean? But when you have a lot of outside influences and somebody's whispering in your ear here and somebody's whispering in your ear there, how can you resolve anything? You can't because there's all of this going on in the background, and sometimes you can't tell your own thoughts to what somebody else's thoughts are. Do you know what I mean? I went to our estate street party with my daughter, and grandchildren. Do you know what? I really would love to go to. I would have loved to have gone to a street party. Was a fantastic time. Hope you and Mark had a good day as well. We did. Loving those ears tonight. Thank you. Oh, you made it back, B Singularity. Thank you. Good to see you again. Do you know what? We had a brilliant time, but we just worked a lot because we did a brunch, and so uh we were, when you're sort of hosting things and you're cooking things and all of that. And my bestie, my poor bestie Eve, because Mark and I were arguing in the morning, sort of like how to put the tables and all of this type of stuff. And I feel like um we feel the pressure of hosting, and I think so. Then you're sort of like, no, it's got to be this way. No, it's got to be that way. And so you're trying to get your opinion. So bless her, she was like, right, okay, I'll handle this part. You guys handle this part, and it helped so much. And I have to, bless her heart, I have to really thank her for that, because she was outside doing, and Mark and I were in the kitchen. So he was by the hob and I was at the oven, and Evelyn was doing the thing, and preparing drinks, and I did cocktails as well. I did pina colada cocktails. I made them a little strong for my cousin and Evelyn, because Evelyn really likes her drink strong. I don't. So I made mine a lot lighter. Um oh well, I missed you on Tuesday. Oh, did you? Um um Oh, well, I missed you on Tuesday. Do you mean this Tuesday or Tuesday before? Is Mark okay? Yeah, he's all right. He's studying. He's got an exam coming up this week, so he's really sort of like trying to concentrate on that. And then I think he feels like sometimes, like when you're studying, sometimes I think you feel you're not retaining the information. But I was saying to him, like, just take a couple of deep breaths, sort of calm yourself. It's all in, and it's the same thing that I said to my nephew when he's doing his exam. It's all in there. You've read it, you've done it, it's all there. You just have to know how to access it, because that's the trick, is how to access the things that you've already learned. The View talk show in the US discussed the Jubilee. I think the View is that the women, is it with like four women, because we have something like that here called Loose Women, but I'm sure, is the View the one with Whoopi Goldberg? Is that the one? And one of the Maori twins, is it Tia or Tamara? They were saying British weather and food suck. Oh dear. I disagree. I love British food and the cooler weather over there. Do you know what? We actually had a good day that day. We were able to sit outside, we had the music on and stuff like that. But I think when I see Britain depicted, or the UK depicted in the in other sort of countries' eyes, we're always depicted as, oh my god, it's rainy, it's dreary, it's grey, it's this, and it really isn't. Don't get me wrong, we have long winter months where it is rainy or dreary or cold and blah blah blah. But when we have our summer, although last year was an exception, because last year was rubbish summer. But 2020 summer was on point. We had good weather from April. That is unusual for us. And we've been having good weather from April, this year as well. We have had quite a lot of rain. Or we've had like really sunny, hot mornings, and then mid-afternoon it rains a little bit or whatever. What I love about Florida weather, it normally rains for 20 minutes, but I noticed when I was there before in 2019, I think, that the rain spouts were longer than 20 minutes. But yeah, it used to rain for 20 minutes, but I've noticed it's gotten longer than 20 minutes, more like half an hour now. Tell him I said hello. I definitely will. I definitely will let him know. I'll be thinking of him. He's a lovely man. Thank you. He really is a lovely man. I'm very lucky. I think after your live chat, could we talk at 9:30? Do you know what? We can't talk at 9:30, but we could talk at 8 o'clock. Do you know why? Love Island is on, and I gotta watch my Love Island. So, in life, there are things that I need to watch, and at the moment, Bake Off the Professionals is one, and they transferred that now to Mondays. So, well, not Mondays. They just for this week, Monday, which I watched yesterday, and next Monday because of football, I think. So for the 2 Mondays, it's on at 8 o'clock on a Monday. But then after that, it'll be go back to its normal Tuesday. But also, Love Island's just started. Love Island started yesterday, and I get a little bit obsessed. So I was never into Love Island, but I don't know if it was my friend or my cousin that talked me into watching it. It's just pure trash TV. It's one of my guilty pleasures, and I really like watching it. Oh yes, Love Island. What do you think so far? Are you planning on visiting Disneyland, Shanghai, or Tokyo, perhaps in the future? Yes. Mark and I have been talking about this. Yes, in the future, we do want to go to one of those, or both, if we're lucky. Yes. Do you know what? I like that. What I like about this one so far, I mean, I don't mean the contestants, by the way, but what I love about this one so far is that they chose the contestants to go with the contestant. Do you know what I mean? So nobody feels left out. There's nothing worse than walking in and feeling your ego taking that dent when you're not chosen, or you choose someone and then they step forward for someone else. It's just so. I sit there and I think that is just so soul destroying, don't you think? I sit there and I just think. I enjoyed watching BGT the final. Don't tell me about the final because I've not watched the final yet. But my nephews were there at the final. So basically, my cousin and his wife had tickets to go, and they actually had 2 spare tickets, but I didn't go. But they had tickets for the Friday because it was the semi-finals, and so they left the brunch early to go there to go and watch BGT. But when they got there, they were told to come back at 6. When they got back at 6, they couldn't get in. So they were given priority tickets for Sunday. So they were actually there for the final. And my nephew got to meet Alicia Dixon, took a picture of Alicia Dixon and all that. So, yeah, so I suppose in a way it was good that they got turned away because they left the brunch early, went there and then came back to the brunch. But yeah, in a way it was good, and then they got to have their pictures taken and all that. Yeah, do you know what at this point I think that was a good thing that the audience or the viewers got to choose who. I didn't know that this thing because I didn't watch the build. All you hear is da, 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 Love Island and all this, but I didn't know there was an actual vote happening, so I didn't watch or know about that because I'm not that deep into Love Island that I go and sort of Google it and all of that type of stuff. I just like to watch it. And Love Island's one of those guilty pleasures where my cousins and they were saying, oh, you have to watch it and all of that type of stuff. So I've started watching it. And I liked that the guy walked in, the Italian guy, and all of a sudden it's like, it causes a stir, doesn't it? And it doesn't help that he's do you know what I mean? By most people's standards, he's very good looking guy, and he's got an Italian accent. And I think the guys are worried, and I can understand why they would be. Because quite a few of the girls said, oh, they liked him, and I was just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I think it's gonna be very interesting. Yeah. No, I don't. No, I don't know either. Something different. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And I liked that element that somebody came, because the thing is, sometimes inevitably, when the new people come in, Italian stallion, not for me, very cheesy, right? Okay, but for the girls, he's not cheesy by those standards. He's a very good looking guy, right? Which is what they're wanting to do, because already some of the girls are like, oh yeah, mm-hmm. And so and normally what is seen as uh sort of desirable, if for want of a better word, is normally French or Italian. And a lot of women like that accent and all of this. To be fair, yeah, it's debatable who is into it and who isn't. So I'm not going to tell you what my preference is, but that is, and I think for young, you got a lot of young people in there, and so they haven't had time to know what they want in life and things like that. So they all act from gut instincts. And when especially when you're those sorts of ages, your hormones are here, there, and everywhere, and all this, and that's what makes it an interesting thing. And I do like it a lot better than Big Brother. When Big Brother is that, yeah, he's definitely, and what I liked was that somebody came in early on rather than coming however many weeks later, because the audience then don't the viewers don't sort of like gel with the newbies normally. They sort of stay true. So to have someone come in so early is very, very good. And I think it bodes well if they do it, if people come in the first 2 weeks, because I can only imagine, and I've heard it said before, that being in the house is seems like more day, like 2 weeks could seem like a month, and they're in that bubble, so they don't know what's going on outside. Exactly. At that age, you're not aware of your feelings. Exactly. And it's only many years later when you look back to how you were, and you sort of think, but also you have the tenacity of youth. There are things that you would do, there are boundaries that you would push, that which you later sort of don't do. Well, I don't say you don't do, because some people still live by that sort of standard, but for a lot of people, they sort of grow and experience other things, and so aren't as risk taking as you are when you're in your 20s. Love Island sounds, yeah, you prefer the survival shows. Love Island is very cheesy. I'm not gonna lie, it's very cheesy. Um, but I like, do you know what? Sometimes I like a bit of cheese. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Mark would be like, I've watched a couple of the Bear Grylls, and I think they're interesting until he starts drinking the pee. And then I can't, when he's squeezing the dung and he's saying no, then I'm thinking, no, I can't watch them sort of things. But there was one that I did watch at one point, which is where some people are put on an island, and they have to build their shacks and their shelters and all of this. And then we also have I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where they're stuck in the Australian jungle. And when I watch these shows, I'm thinking, oh my, and all these sort of challenges that they have to do, I'm just like, oh my god, I don't think I can watch this. So I do understand why you prefer the survival shows rather than Love Island. But yeah, Love Island is very cheesy. They did have a USA one. They had one where they did it in Las Vegas, and they did it on top of, I don't think it was the Cromwell. It could have been the Cromwell. I'm not sure. But they did do one in the US, and I watched that one. I quite enjoyed that one. But I felt like the villa wasn't big enough. They needed a lot more space, and that. But you've got, you've got the weather in Vegas, so do you know what I mean? It's best to do it in those sort of types of temperatures where you're pretty much guaranteed sun. Um, Yes, when you look back, you learn from your experiences. Exactly. Love I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. Do you know what? When they start doing all of these challenges, and I put myself in their shoes when they're doing these challenges, even on the Love Island challenges, some of them are completely disgusting. I'm thinking, and I have to either cover my eyes or look away. Mark go, and Mark will start laughing at me, go, look, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. But some of the challenges in I'm a Celebrity, and there's things dropping on the, I'll be like, but then I'd have to close my mouth because I'm thinking, well, something's gonna crawl in my mouth. No, and I'm like, no, it's not for me. It is not for me. Um, but yeah, some of those challenges when you see them, you have to be very brave. I feel to and it becomes a thing of, because you get meals, don't you? You get the stars. You have to try and find the stars in order to get the meals. And I think, like, sometimes when you're just sort of, I don't know what the basic rationing is. Where is it like something like porridge or something like that, and that's all beans, and that's all you're having. You're not having anything else until somebody wins meals. Oh, I know some of the challenges are really challenging. I know. I'd be sitting there thinking, oh my god, I I've got to admire people who can do the challenges in I'm a Celebrity. The ones that they're doing in Love Island, I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, this is so disgusting. I could not do this. And I think as well, when I used to watch Big Brother, but I gave up on that. I think I might have watched three seasons, I think, of Big Brother. Um, and then I gave up on it. And that's when they used to play Big Brother 20, because on Channel 4, I think it was on all day, or you could watch it all day. I think they might have only broke for news, maybe adverts, but other than that, you watched it all day. And then they would condense what had happened through the day into one episode, which you could watch in the evening. And some things that would happen in the day, and the way that they edited it wasn't quite right, and you'd think, well, that's not quite what happened. And they're very clever because they can edit these things in a certain sort of way for you to think, well, to lead you into one thing when really that's not how it was. So yeah, I'm very mindful of those sorts of things. I'll check out I'm a Celeb, get me out of here. Definitely. I think when they do the challenges and they're in the jungle and things like that, I think it could be something that might interest you. Um, Rice and beans is what they have. Oh my god, imagine you'd never eat rice and beans again by the time you leave. You wouldn't eat rice and beans again. Um, those parts in I'm a Celeb where you pull bugs down. Yes, it's my worst nightmare. Spiders. But do you know what? Anything that's quick, anything that, yeah. Oh, it's not for me. It's not for me. I can't even watch it. It's not for me. Um, Nightmare. That's why they're so entertaining. I can't. Singularity. I don't even know how you can watch these things. I'll be like, no, I can't watch them. Um, we do not know what hunger is, what hunger really is exactly. There is so much food poverty now. Prices are rising all the time. You're absolutely correct. I think my brother was saying Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is going for a madness at the moment where there's a food shortage. And it's really sad to see that I got the left. I got to left the chat. I'll come on Friday. Okay, you got to leave. Okay, no problem. Have a good evening, Keegan, and hopefully we'll see you on Friday. Have a good evening, whatever you're going to do. And I think it is so sad. In because you don't realize, when you live in places like the UK, the US, in Europe, and things like that, that we're very lucky with regards to food. But we do have a lot of food wastage, which is really sad. And I think, especially with restaurants and things like that, and I think more restaurants need to concentrate. And there are so many homeless people, Pret and Eat, when Eat existed, unfortunately, Eat went into administration. And I did speak about this on another live. eat at the end of the day, if you, because there's an eat, sorry, not eat, prep. There's a prep, there was a prep and an eat, just sort of along the strand, and then there was an eat that just led off the strand. And when there's a part of the strand where they do like uh they do rallies and things like that, and protests and things like that, and there's a lot of homeless people that are there, and Pret and Eat used to bring sandwiches there so they could have the, but they also used to bring it to St Martin's Lane, because I think there's a homeless shelter there. And yeah, they used to get like Pret sandwiches, you know, at the end of the day, because they're not going to be there the next day. And they used to come and get sandwiches and things like that, and I really love restaurants that do that sort of thing. Do you know what? Instead of wasting all this food, and there is a lot of food waste, they end up giving it to the homeless. And I think more restaurants need to think about that, and more restaurants need to give food away. Baby formula shorted in the US right now. Oh, really? Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? When you just think something as simple as baby formula, and and our waste food is terrible. It really is. Yes, there are some shops that put online food that they have left. Yes, there are. But I'm more thinking of the people, you know, like the homeless people and things like that. But I feel like somebody was telling us about, was it you that was telling us, was it something food to go? Somebody was telling us about another online app, good to go, food to go, something like that, that was actually giving away. I don't know if it gives away food, but definitely food that you can have that's going to be thrown away. But I feel like with a lot of elderly people, they're not going to know how to use apps and online things and stuff like that. So I think that um, you know, you have a lot of these companies that you know, like Uber Eats and Deliveroo and Just Eat and all of that type of stuff. And I feel that a lot of these restaurants in local towns, let's forget about London for the minute, but like in local towns where they could get a list, or the council could they have a list of people who are elderly and things like that, and they could arrange for things to be brought to these people's homes, I feel. So just that, so that they are getting a meal and things, because sometimes elderly people, they might just eat straight from a can, you know, like a tin of peaches, or you know, a tin of something that they enjoy. And I just think to have a meal come to your door, I know there's things like Meals on Wheels, but sometimes you have to pay for those things, or relatives have to pay for those things, and sometimes they don't have relatives. So I just think that there should be some sort of a charity, maybe, because there's elderly people that live along this road, and I've never seen like people come and deliver them food or anything. I've never seen charities come along this road and sort of like give things to elderly people and things like that. And I really do think that sometimes the elderly people don't know that they can sign up for these things, or they've not been informed of what they can do. So yeah, it's a little bit sad. I remember, and I told this story once, years ago, when I still lived at home, when it snowed or rained or anything like that, my stepdad would send me to the shops, and he said to me, why don't you knock on the elderly people's doors along the street and ask them if they need anything from the shop? And that's what I would do. You know, that's what my stepdad would say. Go and knock on the doors and see if they need anything from the shops. Go and buy them what they need and bring it to. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it was back in my day, where people used to go and knock on people's doors and things like that. But I think it's a little bit lost, which is unfortunate, really. Yeah, there are some shops that put online. Yeah, no, elderly and heating do not go well together. Yeah, it's so sad to see some elderly weighing up food against the heating. I know, it's crazy, and I think that food prices are going up, petrol's going up, and all of this. I don't use the car very often, to be quite honest. I don't even really use it once a week. I've got to be honest, because I don't need to. I don't need to use it. Sometimes we'll walk to wherever we've got to go to, and then take a bus back, or we'll get a train to wherever we need to get to and get the train back. Um, So a lot of the time I don't even really use the car in that. And when I did use the car, I had half a tank of petrol, and I said to Mark, before the prices go up, let's fill up the tank with petrol. And he said, "Oh, how much shall I put in? 20?" I said, "Do you know what? Put in 30." And it went up to 29 before it done the clicking noise. But that was half a tank of petrol for £29. Half a tank. And my car ain't no fancy. My one, it comes under, it doesn't come under the ULEZ, so I have to pay. It's 2003, my car. So imagine, I £30. It used to cost £25 to fill a whole tank of petrol. A whole tank of petrol used to cost £25, 20 to £25. Now it's cost £29 to do half a tank of petrol. It's crazy. Them sort of prices, and you think to yourself, wow. And I did it, and I said to Mark, let's do it now before the prices go up. We don't use the car that often, so it will last us for quite a while. When we had that petrol shortage, do you remember? Good 2 weeks. I had half a tank of petrol. And like I said, I don't use the car that often. So I thought, do you know what? I'll wait for these queues to die down before I'm going to the petrol station. But anytime I went by them, they were like, gone, sold out, gone, sold out, gone, sold out. 2 weeks later, after everything had died down, I took my half a tank of petrol and I went and I filled up the rest of the car. Do you know what I mean? But this time I did the same. I thought, do you know what? Before it goes up anymore, let's get, and we did that about a month ago, about yeah, a month ago, maybe more than a month ago. I've got one bar now that's just disappeared from the full tank. And I bet you to fill that one bar back up will probably cost me £20. Um, yeah, a lot of people I know are giving up their cars. Do you know what? Me and my cousin were discussing the same thing and using public transport. I've been thinking about it a lot, whether to scrap my car. And I think I have to make a decision maybe in the next month or so whether I'm going to take it for its MOT, or just scrap it. I'm not sure. I'm reluctant to get rid of it at the moment because we do shopping and things like that. And like when I went to M&S and think I was going to the dentist and I knew I was going to go into M&S, and then I had all these heavy bags, which in no way could I have brought by myself on the bus. So things like that, or if we go to, we go to like a hardware store, or we need to get to A, it just gets me from A to B. And while I don't use the car that often, the times that I do use it, which like I said is not that often, the last time I used the car was a week ago. And there's been times when I've not used it and the batteries run low, and I've had to call my uncle to come and help me charge the battery. And that's happened like 3 times because I don't use the car that often. Yeah, just turn the car over though. But I know the car's right in front of the house. But even then, it doesn't occur to me to go, oh yeah, let me just turn the car over. So yeah, but I've been a bit better this time, and actually, yeah, it's gone up to £2 a litre. Yes, they were talking about it might be going up more than £2 a litre. Gas prices in Chicago are going up now, record high at $5.76 per gallon. That's like about £4. That's yeah, that might be like £3.54 per gallon. Ooh. I'm off now. Have a nice evening. See you on Friday. Oh, thank you for joining us, Karen, and I'll see you on Friday, hopefully. I mean, hopefully, as in we will be here, but hopefully you'll join us as well on Friday. I can't believe how much things are going up in price, and even to get shopping, because during the pandemic they stopped a lot of the deals. So I noticed, and they also capped the amount of things that we could buy. So I would have to swap out things, and I think they capped. We were only allowed about 80 things. And I remember telling my friends, and she goes, 80 things? What 80 things are you buying? But it's true. By the time you bought toiletries, by the time you bought cleaning products, by the time you've bought your food, by the time you've bought drinks, it's more than 80 things. And I think that, yeah, and even now it's just so expensive. All the deals are gone. There were barely any deals in M&S. I did buy quite a lot though. Today I did get quite a lot. I've got to say, I spent about £100, but I got quite a lot of stuff, and I even bought flowers as well. I bought three. I bought two roses and these lovely type of flowers. They're sort of like wild, but not wild. And I thought that I can intersperse them with the roses. So I bought white rose. Well, they're like a white pink rose, and then I bought red roses, and then I bought this sort of like spray. It's not jip, but it's something sort of like you can intersperse sort of like these wildflowers in the roses. And I thought, do you know what? I can split them between two vases because I like to have flowers in the house. And I just thought, do you know what? I can split them between the two vases, and then I can have maybe one up here, one downstairs, and it will look nice. And yeah, and so I got that. And when you think about it, you think, oh God, something frivolous like flowers. It's crazy. Luckily the flowers were reasonable, so it wasn't that bad. But when you compare it to, oh, I could spend that money on food or whatever. And I was very lucky because I was quite selective in the food. I had like these three big bags as I was coming out of M&S. So it just shows you how much I was able to get. Plus the flowers. So I had 3 bags of food plus the flowers. So I brought my own bag, which I put loads of stuff into, and then I brought another like sort of like a tote bag. I just put the bread and a couple of things in that bag, and then I had to get an M&S bag. I had to pay for one. I thought I'd bought enough bags, but clearly I hadn't. And then she also charged me for the flower bag as well. I couldn't believe it. So it was 10p for the flower. I didn't think they charged for flower bags, but yeah, 10p for the flower bags. Crazy. How much is a loaf of bread slice in the UK supermarket? I think the one that I got might be, because it used to be sort of like 50 or 60p, but it's not. I'm sure it's over £1 now. I'm gonna double check, but I swear it's over £1 to buy bread. Uh, yeah, even the supermarket's own brand, because I really like Tesco's Finest bread, and I really like it. They do a oat batch bread, and they do a white soda bread, and yeah, £1.85, £1.10, £1.20, £1.30, £1.10. There is one which is 85p, but that's for a small loaf. 65p again, small. 120, yeah. So about 110, 120 for a loaf of bread. Over £3 here. Wow. Take care. I'll try to catch up with you on Friday. Bye. Take care, Richard. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. I feel like food is just going up and up and up. And £3, that's about, yes, about £2. So we're probably, I would say it's roughly about $2 here for bread, roughly, which would be about £1.50. But I mean, how is everyone finding their bills and their shopping? I mean, are you noticing a considerable difference? Are you having to make changes? I mean, we're lucky it's summer at the moment. We haven't had the heating on. The last time we had the heating on might have been the end of March. And then as soon as it hit April, we sort of like turned off the heating. But we've had so many problems with our boiler, we might as well have had the heating on. Our boiler, there seems to be something wrong with it all the time. And it's relatively new. We had it, I say relatively new, we had it fitted in 2015. So in no way, shape or form should it be having any problems at the moment, but it seems to be having some real problems. I hope we can I hope we can get it sorted, because at the moment it's been cold shower. Not yesterday, but today has been cold shower. Both Mark and I. Normally it's one of us having a cold shower, but today both of us have had cold shower. And I know Mark don't like them things. And so neither do I. I don't like them things, but I cope with it a bit better. So I really, really hope we can get the boiler fixed. But it's things like that, and I think that I know via our shopping that things have gone up, and I try to cut back on things and try to sort of do things or get things in a different way in order to bring down our shopping. But yeah, it's crazy. I remember my parents could do £100 shop and it would last us for the month. You can't do £100 shop now and it lasts you for a month. That is just some crazy talk. It's double that, if not more, to last you for a whole month. We don't get a lot of freezer stuff. We do have some freezer stuff, but we don't get a lot of it. So in our freezer, we have things like, I don't know, peas. I like to get frozen fruit because I like to use it in a smoothie or cocktails. So we've got frozen fruit. And then if I buy a couple of packs of bacon or sausages, I put them in the freezer, just so that I can have them at a later date. I bought a couple of things from M&S, and they had some breaded chicken, and I had two in my basket because it was three for £12 or three for £10 or something like that. And when I got up to the counter, she said, "Oh no, these aren't in the." I saw the yellow ticket, the red ticket, and she said, "Oh no, these aren't in the 3 for 10." And so I said, "Oh, can you put one back then, please?" And so I just bought because they went in 3 for 10, because Mark likes the plant burgers and they were in the 3 for 10, and then I bought 2 packs of the chicken steaks because they were in the 3 for 10. And so I asked her to put one back. I said, "No, I won't bother taking it. I'll just do the plant burgers and one of the packs of chicken." I'll put those chicken in the freezer. But it's crazy the sort of things you need to compromise on and things that you need to do. Yeah. Don't have heating or aircon on very often. But I noticed a very significant rise in bills. Yeah. When I only had them on for a short while, I really try to avoid it now. Prices have increased a lot. It's so true. I wear a lot more fleece. I've got a fleece what you call it, nightgown, which I wear, and I've got my little duvet day that my mum got me, which I wear. And it does get cold. Sometimes I get warm, like I had this on when I first started, and then I got warm, so I took it off. But yeah, I tend to wear sort of like, when I'm in the house, I tend to wear my duvet day or my nightgown. Even sometimes when I come on the live, you guys have seen me in my nightgown because it's cold. But yeah, I dread to think what winter is going to be like when we have to start turning back on the heating. And I also dread, because I sometimes, even when we have the heating on, I feel like the house not hot enough. So sometimes I have my little side heater on, and I know that I won't be able to put that on. It will be a lot of hot water bottles, I think, and things like that. And at least with a hot water bottle, and sometimes I put the hot water bottle in bed. Like in the old days when they used to put those heating pans, they used to fill the pan full of coals, and then they'd warm up the bed. And I feel like that's what I do with the hot water bottles. I think someone was saying to me about a blanket, electric blanket. But even then, I think they use very little heat anyway. The electric blankets, very little electric. So they do worry me though, those electric blankets. So I'm not sure if I would ever get one. But I am happy when we have the hot water bottles. But I think I'm going to have to start putting two, because normally I have one, but I think I'm going to have to start using two. We don't have aircon, so we don't. So yeah, we don't have the air cons, but we do have, yeah, heating. I think I will think about whether I'm going to get aircon in the conservatory, because what our plan is our conservatory is full of junk. I say full of junk, it's not full of junk. It's full of garden chairs and tables and things like that for when we do brunches and barbecues, because we could have like 40 people here at a time, maybe more, in the garden. So we've bought enough tables and chairs to compensate for that. So in the back shed we have a load of chairs, and in our conservatory we have a load of chairs and some tables and that. And then what we do is we put them out, obviously, when we have the brunch or whatever, and there's enough chairs for people to sit down in that. But then we put them away and we store them, and so we can't use our conservatory like a normal conservatory. So I said to Mark, what we'll have to do is try to utilize the back shed a bit better. So like pack the tables and stuff a bit better, so we can move the stuff that is in the conservatory into the back shed, and then actually be able to utilize our conservatory as it should be utilized and not as storage space. And yeah, I think that a lot of our things are like, our bedroom is like a storage place, and because we have so much stuff, but we don't know where to put them or how to store them and all of this type of stuff. I've got some lovely Harry Potter prints, some really gorgeous prints that I need to hang up on the wall. I just don't know which wall I'm going to hang them up on. But yeah, I can see people are going to really have to, because we've been hit by obviously the war in the Ukraine, and then Brexit, and then the pandemic. And I think, those things have resulted in, higher bills for us, unfortunately, and a higher way of living. And I can't conceivably see how we will return back to normal, because once you start paying high prices, I think, and companies start seeing this money, this extra money rolling in, it and money's a very powerful thing, whether they will then lower their prices once everything is over. So once the war in the Ukraine is done, once Brexit is free and clear, and once the pandemic is done, well, you'll never be done, but you know what I mean. Once everything goes back to a relative sort of normal, will prices come back to normal? I don't think they will. I think petrol prices will come back down. That's a possibility. And electricity and gas may come down a little bit, but I don't think it's really gonna change that much. And I think traveling on the tube and train is going to be higher, if not higher already, because they lost so much money during the pandemic. They lost so much money. So I know the Mayor of London is contemplating what they're going to do with TfL prices and things like that. I personally think there should be more relaxed about, like, having a 1 day pass or a 2 day pass for the hybrid workers. I didn't notice any difference, but then again, I was only topping up Oyster card, but I didn't notice any difference with regards to maybe getting a 1 or 2 day sort of like travel card. But I think that is definitely. I know they were talking about it, but whether they actually did it or not, I'm not sure. I agree. Will be very unlikely that prices will decrease after all these situations over these recent years. Yeah, because I think that once you start paying a certain amount of money, and this money's rolling in, because then board members, they're not taking no pay cuts. Board members are not from all these fancy companies, and all these oil companies and all these train companies, and they're not taking no pay cuts. It's us that is taking the pay cuts. Do you know what I mean? It's us. We're suffering the redundancies. We're suffering higher bills. We're suffering. It's us at sort of that is suffering. And I don't think that that once they have all that money rolling in, because it's been passed on to the consumer, right? It's not the board members that are paying that out. They're still getting their bonuses and stuff. It's us that's taking the brunt of it. So it's a difficult one. It's a really big difficult one. And I remember the first recession, and it took years. That was the one in 2008. There was also one in the 90s, but the one in 2008, that was a big one, and not as big as this one though. We haven't gone into recession yet, to be fair, but I think that yeah, there are lots of jobs out there that have lowered what they can pay in potential employees, and people still need to live. They can't, some of these things, they've lowered them so much so that it's school leavers wages. And if you're not a school leaver, you have certain responsibilities that you need to deal with, and not take school leaver money, graduates money. So I don't know, it's going to be an interesting next few years. I think it's going to take at least 5 years, I think, to see things out, maybe longer. I was going to say 10, but I'm hoping it's going to. I was going to say it's going to take another 10 years, but I'm hoping it's only going to take another 5. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I hope that uh, things get better, because at the moment, especially for places like Sri Lanka and things like that, who I feel really sorry for, having food shortages and things like that. That and Thames Water are talking about water and things like that in the UK. They're scared of water shortages, but I don't know. I didn't think we had any water shortages, I've got to be honest, because we had such good rainfall. And I know that things evaporate, and I know things get used and all of that type of stuff. But I think we did have really good rainfall last year, and it's not like we haven't had a lot of rainfall this year, because we have had, granted not like a week of rainfall and stuff like that, but we've had some storms. There's been like we've had quite a few days where there's been some real storms and stuff. So and there was one point in the Thames when it was getting dangerously high. It was getting, so basically, if you ever look at the Thames, like if you ever go to the Albert Embankment, I think Mark mentions it in one of our videos where we go to London. I think it might be in the South Bank video. So there are lions' heads with rings that dot the line of the River Thames. And it said that if the water rises to the lion's head or above it, then we could have considerable floods and things like that. And it was very close to it. And that was last year, because I'm sure we went to South Bank last year, and so it was dangerously close to that. So I don't know if we have. Does anybody know? Have we read anything about water shortages? Because I don't think we have, to be quite honest, especially with all the seas rising from all the ice caps that are melting and everything. I mean, I'm not very knowledgeable on all these things, so this is just my thoughts popping off, and I'm regurgitating my thoughts that are popping off to you. But I don't know of any water shortages and things like that. So, because they were talking about water wastage and things like that, but we've had quite a lot of rain, so I can't see what the water shortage is. But that's just me. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a whatever. What do they call them? People who study water and things like that. So I don't know. But it didn't seem to me like we had anything to. Haven't seen anything about water shortages online, but heard one of my friends mention something about it. Yeah, because I can't see how we could have a water shortage. I've got to be honest, unless machines sort of died from purifying the water, because obviously you can drink our tap water and things like that. So unless some machine has happened where you now can't drink tap water or whatever, then as far as I'm aware, they would clean the water and it would come through your taps and things like that, which is the usual. The thing that I do hear a lot about is plastics being thrown in the sea and all of that type of stuff, and the fishes, whether the fishes and the whales and all of that eating the plastic. That is terrible. That is crazy. So even our food source, not whales obviously, but our food source like fish and all that are eating the plastic. And what do we do? We eat the fish, you know. So inevitably we're eating the plastic because the poor fishes are eating the plastic. Oh, it's crazy. I think that Yeah, that's something that is scary and something that we have to concentrate on. And I hope that they sort of really cut down on plastic. um and because years ago everything was made with glass, you had glass bottles, you had glass this, you had glass that. And then because plastic was cheaper, but the product still cost the same, right? So this is what blows my mind. So everything was in glass bottles and all of this type of stuff. And you remember you used to get your Lucozade, and your Lucozade used to be in a glass bottle, and it had a pattern on the neck of the bottle, some like a bobbly pattern on the neck of the bottle, right? So you had your Lucozade. It always came in a glass bottle. Now they've decided, oh, plastic is cheaper, so we're going to put everything in plastic. However, the product still costs the same, and now it costs more. So why can't we go back to using glass again, and go back to using glass bottles and stuff? Because if didn't cost a lot back then to make things from glass, and it was cheaper to make it in plastic but still cost the same because they didn't change the price, it wasn't passed on to the consumer. Why can't they go back to using maybe glass bottles, because they're more easily recyclable than plastic? So I don't know, this is me just regurgitating, like I said, me popping off with thoughts, regurgitating nonsense, maybe, I don't know. But it just seemed logical to me that if back in the day, so when I was growing up, sort of like 70s, 80s, everything was in glass bottles. Then they decided, oh yeah, things are cheaper if you use plastic. But they didn't tell you though back then that when you put plastic in, it changes its composition, and you've got to be very careful when you're drinking things from a plastic bottle or eating things from plastic, like putting plastic in the microwave and things like that, because it creates a toxin of which nobody ever tells you about. So these things you have to be careful about, whereas you never had that problem with bottles. And they used to tell you, even now they tell you don't keep plastic bottles in the car, because obviously the car heats up, the plastic is heating up, the water can become toxic, or whatever drink you've got in that plastic thing can become toxic. So yeah, and people never tell you these things, and so you're just there. Oh, you've left a bottle of water in the car, so it's ready for you when you want to go and drink it and whatnot, and little do you know you're drinking some type of toxin because of the plastic bottle. It's crazy. These things are crazy. But anyway, I've been talking for I can't believe I've been talking for nigh on 2 hours, and I haven't stopped. I've been like this. Usually it's me and Mark like this, but today's been me on my own, and I've been talking for almost 2 hours. I can't believe it. Well, actually, I can believe it. Kelly is a chatterbox. That's my scoreboard. Kelly is a chatterbox. Kelly is easily distracted. But I hope you've had fun. I know I have, and I always look forward to talking to you guys. It's so much fun, and thank you for joining me. I know it's been just me, but I've really enjoyed talking to you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed talking to me. It's lovely, though. It's like we're having a conversation, but it is, isn't it? And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy sort of the lives. I don't know if I enjoy the lives more than the videos. I think I do, only because I get to interact with you. And on video, when I make the videos, I I really enjoy making the videos. I really enjoy showing you guys like what we do or what we're getting up to, or some new thing that maybe you've not seen and you like to go and try it. I love that part. I don't like the editing part so much. But I do really like showing you guys, oh yeah, this. But I really enjoy talking to you more, I think, than making the video. Don't get me wrong, I like going to all the fantastic places and I like showing you what's going on. But I think I like talking to you more than I like doing the video. But I hope you enjoy sort of like chatting with us, and you get the chance to ask questions, and hopefully we can answer them to the best of our ability. But yeah, now I'm going to go and watch my cheesy Love Island. That starts at 9 though. Yesterday I missed the beginning bit, so I didn't see them all introducing themselves. I only saw it when they started to get coupled up, and that's when I realized, oh, the viewers have chosen who they're getting coupled up with. So that's on at 9. Normally I'd be leaving now because I'd be going to watch Bake Off the professionals. But that's now on. That was yesterday, and that's next Monday, and then it'll go back to Tuesday. Um, I will definitely try and have a lovely evening. Thank you, and I will definitely wish Mark good luck, and hopefully he'll be on the Friday live. And yeah, so yeah, we'll be together on Friday live. Well, I hope you've had fun. And I hope I've definitely loved enjoying talking to you lot. And I hope I get to see you on Friday. If not, if you're doing things, I completely understand. Have a good time on a listen on a Friday night. I can see people probably popping off, going to do whatever they need to do. That's how I used to be, like going out, doing my things. So I hope you guys will have fun on Friday, whatever you're doing. If you're not doing anything and you feel you want to come and have a chat with us, then please do. You are very, very welcome. Anyway, that's all from me for now. Take care. Remember, you're never too old to have fun. Have a great rest. Have a great rest of week, and I hopefully will see you guys on Friday. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.